Yeah, up next we get to watch another good game that I'm sure will be great to watch for us. Grape Juice versus Max Morning. Max Morning, of course, normally Good Morning, but instead having Max play with them. So, of course, they renamed themselves Max Morning. And I think, I forget what I was hearing, but I know that Caden was swapping out today for someone. I forgot who it was. So I think we're going to see Caden playing today, I believe. Caden playing with Max Morning, and then Grape Juice, of course, Getway, Sinfu, Bray, and Vilos, a team that we've seen for quite a while, and they continue to do really good, so happy to see them joining this tournament too.
I mean, Grape Juice is like, I don't know how long they've been around for, but they have been around for probably at least 2 years at this point.
Yeah.
This roster has been around for quite some time. They are continually taking names as one of these French teams that, of course, we as, the North American audience, some of you might be more familiar with what IPL does a lot of. We don't get to see them as often as we might see some other teams, but this is definitely a strong team to watch out for, as evidence for that. They actually took the victory over Sendu, Hypnos, Storm Hero, and Anger in their pool. They took that 2-1. And so they're coming into this with a little bit of momentum, riding off of that victory and winning their pool to be here on the top half of the bracket. So, of course, they're taking it. And then Max Morning, this team of Good Morning is a team of all players that we know incredibly well. We know how well they can perform, but we haven't seen it fully come together for any Good Morning roster quite yet. I want to see them make a deeper run in some of these losers brackets. We just haven't seen anything come out of them. So both these teams definitely looking to try to make their names a little bit more known as we head into this set. And of course, what better way to do it than say that you're able to win 2 sets and winners in SuperJump? Like that is a pretty big accomplishment, folks. Getting like top 16 in this bracket is a pretty huge accomplishment for these teams. So it'll be interesting to see what these teams have prepared for us here.
Yeah, and remember, this is going to be another best of 5 on stream. We will be starting out on Splat Zone's Anchovy for the first map, so I think this will be a fun one to start out on. Splat Zones in general is a good way to just kind of see how the teams play around each other, how they, what their game plan is going to be against the other team that they are up against. So I think this will be a good starting stage to start on as well.
Everybody loves Splat Zones, right? Everyone's just like, all right, let me play Splat Zones. Let me turn off the brain. The objective's in the same spot. It's not moving. It's simple for these teams at this level, but it does give us a little bit of a glimpse into what to expect for the rest of the set. Of course, we saw, all right, how is Spore going to play in, and how is Spore their presence going to be controlling of the Hinterlander, as they try to sneak into some of these objectives. It's exactly what we saw in the last set. We'll see what we see here as we load on into this one. I'm imagining we're going to be seeing a few interesting compositions come out here. Of course, Shadow Wind, we're normally used to seeing a Tenebrella. I believe Veloce is normally playing Roller, but I could just be misremembering things. So we'll have to see what these teams come out with. Getaway on the remix, actually, and Max pulling out the Soda Slosher, weapons that we do not see in this meta.
Oh, Max has actually been playing K-Shot, so I'm guessing that Max is playing that bucket so that way Omega can play K-Shot instead. So that'll be, that's quite the interesting thing. We don't necessarily get to see sloshers anymore, so let's see what happens.
Another thing here, Grape Juice not running in armor. They're opting for 2 Tena missiles, Booyah Bomb, and then, of course, that Foil Squeeze where those bubbles can be quite, put out a lot of pressure no matter where you're throwing those in from, whether it be on top of zone, whether it be to push your opponent's back or something of that nature. But right now, it looks like the folks on Max Morning have their number, and they are going to be taking control of this zone early on. You see Max already starting to move forward, Shadow Wind starting to move forward here as well. Have to be careful, though, of these bubbles that get popped here. Max almost caught off guard, but is able to barely stay up right now. Looks like still trying to apply a little bit more pressure, saying, here, come here, fight me. Why don't you? I'll distract you from going on to the zone. But it looks like everyone's going to start coalescing around this zone. Booyah Bomb comes out here as it looks like Max Morning is continuing to keep up this defensive pressure.
Getaway here going to use their Booyah Bomb to try and stall out the zone, but unfortunately with 2 members of Grape Juice down, that Booyah Bomb wasn't able to necessarily get any utility. So Sinfu and Getaway here trying to hold their street area, wait for their teammates to regroup. With only 15 seconds left, they do need to go ahead and try and make something happen. Getaway uses this Booyah Bomb to try and stall the zone, and frantically Grape Juice is painting around, just trying to cap the zone. They just need to cap the zone once, and at the nick of time, with only 3 points remaining, they do thankfully cap the zone.
And now they might be looking for a long push of their own. 2-down situation, soon to be a 3-down situation perhaps here. If Caden goes down off the back of that Booyah Bomb, Getaway has this Booyah Bomb as well, throwing it back there, perhaps allowing for some of these members to hop. But you'll notice both these K-Shot players, Sinfu and Flushy, both have 10 missiles at the ready, able to catch out their opponents wherever they might be approaching in from. Max trying to go up this side here, trying to find a different angle on these players that are holding down the fort right now for Grape Juice, but just not able to find that angle so far. Has to come in back in on the respawn. We'll have to see if they can try to make a play on this zone quickly, because these members of Grape Juice are pushed forward and they don't look like they're going much of anywhere. Now one goes down here to a bomb. Max trying to come in with the rest of the members of Max Morning at his back, and they are able to find this zone with just a few specials pop, forcing these members of Grape Juice back, but it looks like they're not going to be willing to give up the zone that easy.
Ooh, for Max Morning, that pick on the squeezer was exactly what they needed to be able to come back into the zone, at least capping it. That way they were able to give those penalty points over to Grape Juice. Now, with 1 member down, 2 members down of Max Morning, Grape Juice is looking really good as they have set up defense for the zone. Max Morning has to figure out how to regroup. I love that Omega jumped out. They know that they have missiles. They know they need to save them for their teammates. Looks like Omega is going to use those missiles, hopefully paired with Armor and Booyah Bomb here to try and come back into a cap the zone once again.
Trying to come in here. You see that Armor come out, exactly the go button here for Max Morning. Omega trying to be on the front lines here for this team. They're not able to find the cap. Okay, just as I say that, able to find that, apply that penalty for just a little bit longer, and now trying to spot up and sniff out some of these members of Grape Juice, excuse me. It's going to be a 2-down situation for them now, as they'll have to find another way to come back in. But no, actually a little bit of an overextension. Sinfu's going to be able to pick up a pick here for Grape Juice. Now making another one. They're going to be able to clear out some of these members of Max Morning, cap the zone back, and now start ticking down this timer, trying to whittle down this penalty and trying to go for the lead here. This game is going to be real tight coming down to the wire.
So close, with only a minute left of this. Armor comes out from Max Morning as Max tries to utilize that armor and drops down here on this right side with Omega. You can see they're just trying to come in and paint the zone. Max has this burst rush ready. I don't know if he's going to be able to use it. Does use the burst rush paired with Caden's Booyah Bomb. Caden getting a pick with that Booyah Bomb. That was really crucial, because now this is allowing Max Morning to come in, paint the zone, use armor once again, and push Grape Juice back with only 45 seconds remaining of this match.
Now we're going to see if Max Morning can continue this hold. Remember, folks, Grape Juice can force overtime if they have the zone capped here when that clock hits 0. That's exactly what they're looking to do, because they only have one more opportunity to do it, so you might as well do it when all your specials are online. Getaway, going up in the air, popping this Booyah Bomb. Max is coming up from behind here. 10 missiles coming out on Max, trying to dive on top of 2 of the members on this side, trying to cause a little bit more of that distraction. So meanwhile, this timer's ticking down. They might not have the opportunity to get to the 0-second mark, as now they're starting to move on forward, but it's a 1-down situation right now for Grape Juice. They don't have the members in mid, and just the paint on zone that Max Morning is pumping out is not going to be enough. They were able to find the zone cap for just a blink of an eye, allowing this knockout to not happen, and now they're able to find the 2-down situation, able to take care of the zone, and now forcing overtime. Oh my goodness, do they have it in them to take this game away?
Veloz here using those missiles to just stall out Max Morning even more. We see bombs coming out from Max Morning. They do have 3 specials at the ready. They have to use them right now. They're going to go ahead and use that Booyah Bomb, use the missiles, and be able to use the armor as well. They just need to come in and cap the zone once. Max using this burst rush, doing everything they possibly can to cap the zone. Finally, 1 member goes down on Grape Juice, 2 down. Oh my gosh.
Wache was coming up from behind there, able to take care of a few members, but no, they just didn't have the mate on zone, as one of the members of Grape Juice was popping their 10 missiles, gave just enough time for the zone to be neutralized and taken back by Max Morning. That was so close, and that was only game 1, folks.
Oh, my heart is like thumping. That was insane, and I feel like that was so back and forth. we are in for a treat for this best of 5 set. Oh my gosh. And it seemed like even though Max Morning started out that match like pretty strong, able to get a really strong lead at first, Grape Juice was able to adapt and then eventually there almost take it completely from Max Morning.
I mean, that's the thing. So in Splatoon, when it comes down to those last few seconds, instinct takes over. Okay, it's no longer about trying to make the best, possible, scenario. It's about, am I doing the things to actually net this team, the ability to win the game? And sometimes you make a little bit of mistakes there. In that case, it might have been not managing your ink as well as you might have hoped, popping those missiles to try to get the refresh on the ink tank rather than for the missiles themselves, just trying to fire those off as soon as you can. But with only 2 members up for Grape Juice, they just weren't able to get enough paint on that zone in time. You see some of the rest of this come out here, but how close are these numbers across the board? Max and Veloce tying for KA per minute across the board here. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And then for Max Morning, you see Shadow when they're using specials used per minute, so they were definitely getting armors for their teammates to help them be aggressive, and that was really, really good for them. And then Sinfu, of course, leading the special use per minute for Grape Juice, really coming in to help them. And I mean, I feel like we especially saw that there towards the end of that match. So speaking of these two teams, though, coming up next, we do have our counter pick in. Counter pick coming in is going to be Splat Zones on Skipper. I feel like this is going to be another chaotic Splat Zones match. I mean, it always comes down to who can get the specials out on the zone, who can get the paint on the zone, and it has the same chaotic energy, I feel like, that Anchovy does.
So the interesting thing for me, you're absolutely right? There are a lot of different ways to play this map, the Skipper Pavilion specifically, that we might not see in most other maps in the game. But the interesting thing to me is if you would have showed me that these two teams were playing on this map, I might have told you that I thought it was a Max Morning counter pick. With Shadow Wind on that 10 umbrella, we know that's a weapon that Shadow is incredibly comfortable with. We know that's a weapon that a lot of these players are comfortable playing around, and this is a brilliant map for that 10 umbrella, able to just take over control of the zone. So I wonder if Grape Juice fully knows what they're getting into, or if they've got another cheeky plan up their sleeves in order to take this game. But it'll certainly be interesting as we start loading into the game and seeing what the compositions are.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Grape Juice composition is going to be. I mean, if they went Squeezer, Remix, 2K shots in that first match, what is going to be their counter pick in terms of weapons for this one? So starting out here, game 2, looking at the comps right now, we get to see Shadow Wind's 10 umbrella come out, just like you mentioned, Kbot, and this time Kaden switching over to the NZAP, Matt switching over to the Vanilla Jet Squelcher, and then on the other side, Grape Juice having a mini Splatling, and then also a custom Jet Squelcher for their anchor weapon.
A lot of mix-ups here. Oh no, Comet falls off. A lot of mix-ups here on the composition. But the name of the game, I think, for Grape Juice is going to be making sure that they can paint over everything. They want to paint over the zone. They want to paint over exactly where this 10 umbrella is coming in. They want to provide enough opportunities to get around this 10 umbrella, make sure they can't set up and take care of business here. But nonetheless, we'll see exactly what comes out here as our first Stingray is going to be, or actually second Stingray, excuse me, already 2 Stingrays. We're 40 seconds into this game here as Max on that back there. Nonetheless here, we're looking to see exactly what comes of this. Shadow Wind is not going to give up this angle here, just back it away as these members of Grape Juice are coming in from the front end.
Kama here using those bubbles and able to get one pick paired with a second one paired with Sinfu, I believe that was, helping them get that second pick onto Kaden there. So 3 members essentially down right now from Max Morning. I saw the last member of Max Morning jump back to spawn, get in a position to regroup. I believe that was Max saving his missiles. So very smartly repositioning to save those missiles. Missiles come out from Max Morning. Booyah Bomb coming out from Omega as they are throwing the specials at the zone to try and recap.
Trying to recap here, but if they just don't have the speed in order to take over control of this zone, Omega kind of caught off alone here. Now Shadow Wind trying to push in themselves as well, but the rest of these members of Grape Juice have backed away, willing to give away this zone but might be trying to look for the retake here. You see that Stingray get popped from the top side of the map. That's Veloce up there with another one. Max now jumping back, trying to probably paint up a little bit more, have that opportunity to build up another set of 10 missiles here, and now meet Veloce one-on-one on the top side of the map. While the meanwhile, members of Max Morning taken away from this zone as Grape Juice is able to take back control of this area. Now they're looking to try to continue this push of their own with the 2-9 situation, especially with Shadow Wind down in that Tenebrella slot.
Stingray coming out also to help try and push back anyone else from Max Morning. Missiles come out from both sides as the zone right now is stalled from both teams. So Grape Juice there able to finally recap the zone once again. And they're doing a really good job at just holding this bottom area. That bomb from Sinfu gonna get Omega, unfortunately, through Shadow Wind's Tenebrella shield. So you can see Grape Juice right now is just holding this bottom area. They haven't really had to move too much. And with these continuous Stingrays coming out from Grape Juice too, it's looking really difficult for Max Morning to get into the zone.
They're able to do it here, but to your point, it is very slow because typically they don't have a lot of burst paint output. They're counting on this Tenebrella to get into position to allow these windows of opportunity for the rest of the members to charge on forward and take over that zone. But on the meanwhile, as long as one of these members of Grape Juice is sitting there watching this zone, it's going to be pretty much capped in their favor. But nonetheless here, actually, it's Max Morning able to take care and bring this solid push together. It was Max Morning that was neutralizing the zone quite a bit more, and now it's going to be Grape Juice that's struggling just a bit. 2-9 situation for them. It was Shadow Wind here, sitting back. Now that jump away here, 10 missiles coming down on top of the zone here, might be able enough to neutralize the zone, but here comes the members of Grape Juice. Will they be able to find this? Shadow Wind popping this Tenebrella canopy, forcing these members back. Omega goes down, and it looks like Veloce is able to meet them on top of the zone for this cap. 2-10 situation for Max Morning, but once again, Grape Juice has an opportunity to continue coming back in this game.
Yeah, Grape Juice finally able to regroup themselves, get their specials together to come into the zone. And you can see continuing these Stingrays that come out to help Grape Juice and their teammates get picked. So with one member down right now of Max Morning, we see Shadow Wind dropping into mid. Unfortunately, does go down. That was a really, really crucial pick for Grape Juice right now, as they have no penalty points. With one member down of Max Morning, you can see Max Morning using armor to try and do everything they can to come into the zone. They only have 5 seconds remaining, and they are not able to get back into the zone. Grape Juice taking this game too.
Taking the game too, and the second that they had, 20 seconds of the timer left with 3 members sitting on top of the zone, it's probably looking pretty doomed there for Max Morning. I mean, Grape Juice just had all the pieces of the puzzle together more often, and especially there towards the end of that game. One of the things we were talking about here, this Tenebrella slows down the game quite significantly. It only will let you play at a certain speed. You have to try to play around that Tenebrella in order to actually get a lot done here. And so, you only have very few opportunities to make that fully work, right? Even on a map like Skipper Pavilion, where you'd expect this Tenebrella to have a handful of different options and opportunities, especially compared to some of the other maps. This time around, though, just didn't quite have the number of opportunities to force these members of Grape Juice off of the zone, and it ends up costing them in the very end. It's Grape Juice all sitting on top of the zone doing exactly what I said earlier. They just had to make sure that ink was laid down on top, and they were able to handle things there. So props to them for taking this game. But again, very even on the objective timers, very even in a lot of other of these stats. So it should be interesting to see how the rest of the set plays.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what was it? Max got 10 missiles, I think that was, on the Vanilla Jet Sculpture, and that really shows specials charged per minute. You can see Max was really grinding those missiles out that match on the Vanilla Jet Sculpture.
Yeah, absolutely grinding those. Of course, Veloce and Getaway both have quite a number of specials to their own names here as well. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things to note overall in that one. But now we're heading to the counter pick of Max Morning. Guess what, folks? We saw this last set. We're heading back to Tower Control Inkblot.
Ooh, heading back to Tower Control Inkblot. I personally would love to see Omega play Carbon Roller, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I would love to see it. This is a good map for it. It has the ledges. It has those angles that you want for the Carbon Roller, but I don't think we're going to see it, but that's my wish for this match as we go into this game 3.
I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah.
Probably not likely, though. I mean, unless we're seeing Shadow Wind go back over to like that N-Zap or, what they were playing earlier. Maybe if Omega's the one out, might end up playing this Carbon and being a little cheeky with things, but only time will tell exactly what comes of this. And now we're loading right on into the game. It's game 3. These teams are tied 1 game apiece. This set's going to continue to be incredibly close here as both these teams want to continue making their names known in cementing their legacy in Splatoon 2.
All right, so looking at the comps here, Sinfu, the first thing I see, Sinfu switching over to the Rapid Blaster. And then on the other side, Max is actually going back to that Slosher. So speaking of Rapid Blaster, Sinfu right away gets a pit with that Rapid Blaster onto Kaden and instantly starts taking the tower to start pushing it. So we could see that the momentum starting out for Grape Juice is looking pretty good.
That's the sort of thing at the beginning of the game that you just don't expect. When you haven't seen a Rapid Blaster yet this set, you're going, wait a minute, how far is that range? Oh, it's that far. They're able to do that exactly there. And so it will mean that Grape Juice has a little bit of a push working for them here. They can't quite seem to get Kaden and Shadow Wind out of the way. Looks like they're finally able to do that here. Getaway hops back on the tower here, popping these 10 missiles. And now we finally might see Grape Juice continue to make this push. They've already cleared past this first checkpoint. Now Kama starting to move even further forward on this Foil Squeezer. Doesn't have the bubbles at the ready, so we'll have to play a little bit more conservatively. But Valache going right in with this heads of 52. That additional survivability going up in the air with that blue up bomb. Now trying to disrupt even more of these members of Max Morning. One other member is going to jump away, and already they're past the second checkpoint. The Grape Juice is looking to continue taking this, and they're already taking this area around the knockout zone. Will they be able to find this? Looks like this Inkfarer finally going to come out, going to force some of these members of Grape Juice off this tower, and it looks like they are going to retreat. They're not going to give away their lives. They're happy with that 13, so that push down to 13.
They are going to use this Booyah Bomb to see if they can continue their push a little bit more, but Max here, paired with their teammates, are able to finally get 3 members down of Grape Juice. So this is what they needed. They needed to get members down of Grape Juice. They needed to get them out of their street, out of their bats, and they are instantly taking mid. So I love that they pushed up right away. They instantly took the tower, and they're starting to paint into mid. With 3 specials at the ready, looks like they are able to get to the first checkpoint and start trying to get in a position to use all their specials.
Oh, but they're already all scattered across the map. Max goes down to that Booyah Bomb right on top of that stack. Kaden trying to throw one at their feet here to try to stay alive for a little while longer. And now Max Morning might have another opportunity to continue that push. Sinfu trying to get this fight here on top. Gets that direct onto Omega and now forces their attention toward this tower. Have to be careful of Max, though, who's starting to come up. And it does look like Max Morning is able to clear past this first checkpoint. We'll see just how much further they go as Max starting to step on forward, trying to find another player of Grape Juice who actually went around behind, might be trying to pull out something cheeky, or probably just going to end up jumping back. But in the meanwhile, there we go. 3 of these members are pushed back quite significantly. You see how much work this Slosher is putting out for Max Morning, pushing these members of Grape Juice back, and they don't have any specials to their name right now. They might be in danger of losing the lead right here. As soon as this checkpoint clears, it could be dangerous. It looks like they're trying to get back on top of the tower. There's plenty of bombs going around all over the place. They just need 1 tick of the timer left, and they are going to be able to find it. It's a 3-down situation, and Max Morning is going to be able to find this knockout. That was so close and so hectic. There were like 5 things that happened all in the span of about half of a second there, but Max Morning is able to seal the deal.
My gosh, my hands are literally on my face right now. That was so intense. What a comeback from Max Morning. They said, yeah, you guys have a 13-point lead. Guess what? We're going to go ahead and just completely KO the tower. What a comeback. As soon as they got it together and they got onto the tower and got it past that second checkpoint, it was just a spiral of events there. Continuous specials, continuing to ride the tower and make sure they played off of each other. What a comeback.
That's the tower control Inkblot snowball that we talk so much about. Once you start getting a little bit further ahead, once you start getting your opponents on the back foot, once they have to start playing reactionary and not preemptively on defense, Inkblot is one of those maps that is very easy to find the next checkpoint, to find the next knockout. And that's exactly what Max Morning was able to do there, especially given the fact that they were adjusting their composition from the last game to play more aggressively. Max back on the Soda Slosher. We're seeing a shooter come out of Shadow Wind as opposed to that Tenebrella that's slowing down much more. And we see exactly the results there. Absolutely well done. Again, even on specials per minute, pretty even on time. It just matters there at the very end where you're positioned and these things that the numbers can't tell.
Yeah, and I mean, it shows Shadowwind there and Getway, of course. They were the tower riders for their teammates. That definitely shows their second spent on objective, riding the tower for their team to play around them. And now, remember, this is a best of 5 set, so we are waiting for another counter pick to come in from Grape Juice. Gonna be interesting what they pick. I mean, having just picked previous ones already.
Yeah, it should definitely be an interesting one here. We'll see what Grape Juice elects to actually decide to throw forward. But again, now they're playing, against match point. It's match point for Max Morning here. As they win one game, they'll continue on in the winner's bracket, knocking Grape Juice down to that loser's side. But we'll just have to see what exactly comes out here. Only time will tell, as we're still waiting on the counter pick here. They definitely don't want to mess this one up. They want that opportunity to continue carrying on further in this bracket.
Something that really stood out to me about Grape Juice too is their weapon diversity and how well they play all their weapon diversity. A lot of times, yes, teams that will have a diverse weapon pool don't necessarily. They have weapons that they're very strong with, and then once they switch to, because they might need it for their comp or a map or vice versa. But the way that Grape Juice has been playing different weapons, in particular Sinfu, I mean, able to just come out with a Rapid Blaster and perform really well with it, and able to have all these different comps and play them well is really something that is standing out to me about them.
Getaway on the remix versus the Jet Squelcher. I mean, there are so many different combinations here of what Grape Juice is able to do, and that just shows, how much time these players have put in this game over the years, able to be proficient at such a high level on so many different weapons, giving you just that much more flexibility, and therefore probably allows you to actually think about counterpicking your opponent as opposed to picking a map that you feel incredibly strong on. So again, still waiting on that counter pick, but real briefly, while we have an opportunity, we're getting some winners round 2 matches coming in. A lot of these probably not very much of surprises. Ice Cube takes it 3-0 over Squidding Good. Starburst takes it 3-0 over One Hit Wonders. FT Win takes it 3-0 over Xylophone Global. And Jackpot takes it 3-0 over Cosmic Burst. The next match we should be seeing on stream is going to be Jackpot versus FT Win. Both these teams looking hot right now. And of course, I was skeptical of FT Win heading into this tournament. They were, coming in with a different roster, coming in with a few subs. They're saying the last time that this, a lot of these players are really going to be playing at a competitive level, it's going to be interesting to see what they have forward. So, of course, stick around for that set, folks. Jackpot versus FT Win is coming up next, and it's bound to be an exciting one.
Oh my gosh, so many good sets happening in the next round. Jackpot versus FT Win, Starburst versus Ice Cube, and then of course it's Sushi and Britain Deluxe are against each other right now. Whoever wins that will be against 4 tickets to victory, please. So man, the next round is going to have some really heavy hitters happening.
Absolutely will. Finally, the counter pick comes in here for Grape Juice. They're taking us to Clamblitz on Piranha Pits. Clams fans rejoice as we head on in here. As a reminder, folks, of course, the way the counterpicking format works, you're not allowed to go back to the last mode you won on. So Grape Juice is not eligible to play any Splat Zones. They had to pick some other mode, similar to Max Morning, of course, in the last one. Had to pick a different mode to play on, and they're taking us to Clamblitz here. They think they've got the advantage. They think they've got the tempo in order to combat anything that Max Morning would pull up against them.
Ooh, I'm really interested to see what their game plan might be going into this. And this is going to be the first Clamblitz we've got to watch on the stream too. Yep. This nice big open map, maybe going to be able to utilize their weapon diversity and play longer range weapons for this. I'm wondering if Max might even go back to playing that vanilla Jet Squelcher, but also I could see Slosher being a good pick here too, that Max has been playing mostly so far on this set. So gonna be interesting to see what weapons come out here.
Definitely will be interesting here, as now we're going to go ahead and get set. Climblitz Piranha Pit is the map. Of course, Max Morning on match point here. They have the ability to win this game, and they will move forward in the winner's side. We'll have to see what comes of this now. Climblitz looking to be one of those modes where potentially, like I was mentioning, this tempo could work here. Vlache on that Jet Squelcher, that is the least mobile weapon on that composition, and that certainly is not an immobile weapon. All the meanwhile, though, on the other side of the map, Max Morning might be onto something here, picking up on that tempo, saying, Omega, go rush. Taking that tempo back to them. We see what Spore was able to do with it. Now will Omega be able to replicate? Apparently not.
Starting out here, two members of Max Morning do instantly go down, and with that Stingray coming out right away from Grape Juice, they were able to help their teammates get those 2 picks down right away. And now both teams do have 14 clams. There's going to be this fight for mid, see who can poke at each other and get picks first. I love the way Omega is just hugging this ramp, waiting to drop down on someone, but was called out there by that Inkjet. So Stingray having to move here, and actually, Omega doing something really cheeky here, flanking around behind the basket. Grape Juice is going to have to recognize that and focus on that.
Definitely going to have to take care of business here, but now Grape Juice able to get a few claims to the basket. They're looking back to rush into mid and take care of a few more, as all 4 of these members are still up, still collecting claims, and yet only 2 members on the defensive side for Max Morning, on this far side, able to throw in just a few more claims to this basket. Sinfu trying to back up here as well to find a few more, and now already down to 20. They are unloading all of their clams, and it just looks like Max Morning cannot quite seem to find their footing here. They're not able to find the ink into this area right in front of this basket. Only 20 points left here for Grape Juice. A fantastic push coming in from them to set the tone for the rest of this game.
I love that they saw that Omega was flanking around to their basket, but they recognized that they could just push in and score their clams, and that was an awesome starting play from Grape Juice. So now Max Morning here trying to push into mid. Omega unfortunately does go down. Now Shadowwind going down as well. This momentum from Grape Juice is playing out so nicely for them as they are continuing to use Stingrays to play off of each other and continuing to get picks onto Max Morning. Right now, that fight for mid, though, is continuing. With 2 members down of Max Morning, it's looking pretty good for Grape Juice to push again.
Pretty good for Grape Juice here, but you see these bubbles trying to come out here, trying to prevent them from moving forward, and it looks like it's dissuading them temporarily. But of course, with that football at the ready, and now with the Stingray coming out, as soon as Grape Juice finds a pick here, they're going to try to move on forward. They're going to try to do that, and they just found one on Omega. They found another one here onto a second member of Max Morning, and here comes Kama's bubbles again, pushing on forward. We'll see if Caden and Shadowwind can try to hold down the fort on the backside here, as now Omega comes in to join the fray. It looks like Vlache able to find that power claim in the basket, but now will there be any follow-up? It doesn't look like there will be, as these members preserving their lives, trying to switch back to play defensively here before Max Morning can get a lot of foothold, because now they're starting to storm right towards this back. You see Shadowwind already with that power claim at the ready, looking to take care of things, and of course Caden dropping back to grab this second one here. Will they be able to find the map on here? Meanwhile, actually Sinfu catches this out, sniffs Caden out, and is able to dissuade, popping that bubbles. That's going to be a resource now that Max Morning doesn't have. And meanwhile, on the front lines, Grape Juice holding down the fort here once more, just with no specials really at the ready. Max Morning wasn't able to get a solid push together, and they've got to find an answer here within the next 90 seconds.
90 seconds remaining for Max Morning to be able to score clams, and they have 20 clams at the ready. They just need to get in a position to be able to score them. Only right now with armor at the ready and missiles, looks like Max Morning is going to go ahead and use both of those specials to try and capitalize off of them, but unfortunately it does not work out. It's just Caden left up, having to use their bubbles to try and stay alive. Getway here, pushing in with this power clam into Max Morning's basket, does score this power clam, and with bubbles under the basket and all these clams, it looks like that is going to be game. Grape Juice taking this game 4.
incredible play by Grape Juice. They have the game plan together. They have the paint control. They have the ability to start making these pushes happen with Kama's bubbles and things of this nature. And Getaway's ink armor used as kind of like a secondary backup. I mean, Getaway only had 4 armors there overall, which is generally you see a lot more armors, right? If someone's playing a dedicated support weapon. But nonetheless, able to take care of business, able to find all of the plays necessary that they needed in order to find that, especially that opening push, maintaining turf control around the barrier when they had that very strong opening push, and then were just able to continue painting over the map, making sure that Max Morning didn't have a way back in the zone. Absolutely beautiful play here, and it's forcing us to a game 5.
Yes, forcing us to a game 5. Oh, the special coordination from Grape Juice there was so beautiful. They were just continuously having stingrays. I mean, it's really showing here through here too. Specials used per minute. Getaway and Veloz just continuing to have their specials at the ready. Specials charged per minute. Sinfu and Veloz and Getaway too. I mean, they were just continuing to have specials on their team, and it really shows through on these stats.
Absolutely the case here. You see Sinfu with 3.5 nearly KA. That is insane. Per minute. Able to pump out just that much work, and that shows you how coordinated they were overall, able to find a handful of different things with these players stacking on top of one another to take care of business. So, of course, we've got one more game left to play, and it will be on Max Morning's counter pick. They will be ineligible to go back to tower control because they won on tower control Inkblot. We'll have to see what they come up with here. They might elect to go back to zones, but they've got to be very careful with what zones map they pick, as we saw on Skipper Pavilion, which is a map that you thought, again, like I said, that could have been a Max Morning counter pick in of itself, right? So we'll have to see what comes of this now.
Yeah, this is the pressure, man, for counter. When it's your turn to counter pick for game 5, you really want to think about all the matches that you just played. Think about all the weapons you've seen, the play style of the team you're against, and really, really hone in on what you think might be the best for this final game if you want to win it. And I mean, with all the different weapons that Grape Juice plays, it's kind of interesting to think about when you're thinking of a counter pick. You almost want to think about, okay, what do we think can play best for us in particular, since we know that Grape Juice has so many different weapon variations that they play. What's a map and mode in particular that we think that we can just really dominate on?
And they are taking their time to think about this one. So as a reminder, folks, you saw it posted in chat just a little bit ago, but !donate, you can donate to the prize pool of this event. I don't recall what number we're at right now. Maybe we can get that for you and bring that out later. But nonetheless, definitely do, donate if you have the means to support these teams and players that are putting on the show for us here today. That'll all be going to the prize pool. So definitely going to be taking a look here. But yeah, I mean, Max Morning really taking their time to think about this one. I mean, come on, let's go, folks. Let's go. This is game 5. Don't make me get the TO voice out. Come on now.
Come on, folks.
Come on, folks.
I don't know. Like, when you're Max Morning, like I was saying, if you're thinking about this game 5 counter pick, I would be panicking personally, as someone who does panic like that. With all the weapon variation that Grape Juice plays, what do you want to play? I think maybe if I was Max Morning, one of the things that really stands out to me is when Grape Juice has the Stingray and they have a map where they can play Stingray. I feel like that's when it gets really, really detrimental and really, really deadly, is when they can have a map that utilizes the Stingray. So maybe thinking of a more close quarters map, maybe something where they can't utilize that Stingray. That would be my guess, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, who knows here? And all right, there it is. Counterpick comes in. It sounds like there might have been a little bit of discrepancy in understanding exactly how the rules play forward. But nonetheless, it is going to be Splat Zones. We're going to Mega Mart here. The map that everyone and their mothers is familiar with playing competitive Splatoon 2. And certainly a map where a lot of these weapons that we've been seeing, some of the, plays might have a little bit more merit. We mentioned a carbon roller earlier. Maybe Omega goes back to that ink brush if they think that was working out for them, or it might work out for them here, rather. Only time will tell to see exactly what angle they decide to take, as both these teams we've seen be very adaptive overall.
Yeah, both teams have been very adaptive, able to switch up their comps, both teams in particular. So starting out here, I'm guessing we're going to see the Slosher come out from Max, but let's see. Weapons are going to come out here as we see these comps come out. Actually, Veloz staying on that custom jet squelcher. That was something I was thinking of, is how deadly Veloz has been on that weapon in particular. And then on the other side, Max is playing the Slosher, Caden on the K52, Omega on that K-shot. So let's see what happens here as this match gets started.
This composition has been working for Max Morning so far. They're sticking tried and true to it here, but now actually we're seeing Grape Juice opt in for that ink armor here, which is something that they haven't really been playing much of so far in this set. But here it comes again, and it looks like it's going to be Grape Juice taking the first hold of this zone and starting to be a little bit more aggressive. So you see Sinfu on this side, throwing these suction bombs, trying to catch out where their opponents are going to be, and now retreating here, might be caught out, is just barely going to be able to escape with just probably a few points of health left. But nonetheless here, it is going to be Max Morning able to take that control of this zone. But of course, they weren't able to pick off any members of Grape Juice. And so this counter push coming in from Grape Juice is going to be quite fast here. Bubbles, Ink Armor, ton of missiles all coming out here, and it's immediately going to translate into a zone cap.
Yeah, instantly a zone cap from Grape Juice, and we see Shadow in there painting to get their armor ready. They do have the armor ready. Gonna wait for a few more specials to come out. Looks like they are gonna pair the armor with missiles in turn, and with 2 members down of Grape Juice, this is exactly what Max Morning needs to be able to push in and try and keep the zone. Unfortunately, though, 3 members down from Max Morning. Armor comes out from Getway here as Grape Juice is able to instantly push back and paint the zone and start taking different areas of the map for defense.
Starting to try to do just that. As you see Getway try to paint up just a little bit more, inching their way forward with the amount of yellow ink that they can surround this zone with, making it that much more difficult for Max Morning to get back in. But they have 3 specials at the ready of their own, and they're going to go ahead and pop them now. 10 missiles, Ink Armor, Burst Bomb Launcher, all coming on forward here. And of course, Omega's going to have this Booyah Bomb, Max having this Booyah Bomb to go up in the air in order to throw that on top of zone. Try to find the zone cap, but they're not able to find it quite yet. And now with one of the members going down on top of the zone, that's Max on that Tri-Slosher. Some of these members are currently a little bit discombobulated, and now they're starting to get teamed up on by Grape Juice. Grape Juice holds the zone and is able to defend things here, and now they've just got 26 ticks of the timer left to go before they take this set.
Max Morning, when they had 1 member down and then that Stingray comes out from Veloz, that's just something that you don't want to push into. Max Morning knows that they need to cap the zone right now. They at least need to stall it out with these bubbles coming out, though. And this flank coming out. Everything is being thrown on the zone right now. With 1 point remaining, Max Morning is able to at least cap the zone. That's what they needed in order to continue this match. With only 2 minutes remaining, they were able to give all those 50 penalty points over to Grape Juice.
Max Morning playing with fire, coming in with just 1 tick of the timer left. That flank from Omega is not able to be sniffed out ahead of time by Grape Juice. It is the difference maker to get at least one of those members dislodged from on top of the zone. But now they've got to push forward, and they've got to do it quickly. They're able to find another cap of the zone, but will they be able to find a strong hold? It looks like Caden is going to be able to win a 1v1 on the far side. Now the rest of the members of Max Morning are going over there in order to get that team up. It's a 2-down situation for Grape Juice. It's Grape Juice that'll be the ones that have to reset and find their way back into this zone, as now Max Morning has the potential to continue ticking down this timer. It looks like this fight on the side, Omega's able to find a trade here. But now, again, Max actually went down as well with that Soda Slosher. Now we'll have to respawn, come back in, try to get set up as Grape Juice is trying to do the same. Things are going to get real hectic, and now Shadowin hops on top of things here and now is able to catch up one of the members of Grape Juice. Still ticking their way around this zone. 10 missiles coming out. Grape Juice looking to try to find their positions in order to come on back in here. It looks like they're able to find it. Oh my goodness, they were just able to find the cap. There wasn't even even much of a fight there from Max Morning in order to cap this zone. And so they're going to have to start back with these penalty points added on if they find another way to cap control of this zone. Grape Juice is doing an excellent job of trying to hold on to this one.
Grape Juice is doing an amazing job at holding on to this with armor and bubbles coming out from Kama here on the squeezer. Gonna use those bubbles to just gain some space, able to paint the zone around their teammates. And with 3 members actually on the right side of this map from Max Morning, Omega able to capitalize on pairing up with their teammates and get 1 member down of Grape Juice. Looks like Max and Omega are pairing up to get another member down of Grape Juice. With only 20 seconds remaining of this match, I don't know what's going to happen as both teams have 1 member down.
Got to be careful. These penalty points are going to go quicker than the game clock. It's just a few more seconds left to go, but with 2 down members of Max Morning, they stand no chance of getting back into this zone, and Grape Juice is going to be able to find the Game 5 victory to carry forward in the winner's bracket.
Holy moly, what a set. And that was only the second set of the day here on the SuperJump 2 stream. Oh my gosh, what a set already in the beginning of this day, going all the way to Game 5. And I mean, both teams played that last game so well. It was so back and forth, but at the end there, and continuously, Grape Juice had really, really good presence on the map, and just really, it showed through on that match.
I think that's the most, that's the key. It was the presence of Grape Juice overall for that, for the games that they won. They were the ones that just had the presence around that objective. They won Skipper Pavilion because they were always on top of the zone. They won Clan Blitz Piranha Pit because they were always maintaining the area of ink right in front of that, barrier of their opponent's barrier, able to allow for a lot more opportunities to come on in and find that ink. And then, of course, that last one, able to maintain and stand tall despite everything that Max Morning was trying to throw at that zone on Mako in order to come on back in from. It just didn't work out for them this time around. But folks, we have to start taking a look at what's coming up next year. Of course, we mentioned Jackpot versus FT Win is going to be up next. But before we get there, we've got a few shout outs for a variety of different things happening in the Splatoon community. There is a ton of stuff happening, and so many folks have come together to make this event